Ooh, it looks like we're getting all the packs. Ooh, more holos, more legendaries, more rares. Wow. Hey guys, Steve here. In this video, we're gonna break down all the latest news from Top Shot, exciting stuff about packs, tweaks to the marketplace, showcases, and challenges. And we're gonna break down the Cool Cats 3 and what happened. Cool Cats 4, it was 4. And we're gonna break down Cool Cats 4 and what happened there. Let's get into it. Okay, so it happened again. So I'm starting to think, if you're here watching this, you're in a distinct advantage because I had lots of comments, lots of DMs of people having positive outcomes during the Cool Cats 4 drop. But yet we still see this huge dump of moments just purely undervalued and sold for a price that's just frankly ridiculous. So we're going to quickly recap what happened. Let's look at Gordon Hayward as an example. So here he is. Now this time the mint was 20,000. In Cool Cats 3 the minting count was 15,000. And I actually miscalculated this because I was kind of assuming that the same thing was going to happen, and it did. But the prices didn't go quite to the $100 mark like they did in Cool Cats 3, which is sort of what I was expecting. That being said, the exact same thing happened. This is when Gordon Hayward came out and he was dumped for $27, and it is even low as like $15, $12. I picked him up for 30, but you can see a huge sort of wave, a much thicker wave than what we're used to, and that was because of the 60-minute cooldown, which we'll get to in a little bit later. The other interesting one, a lot of them were very undervalued, so let's look at Drew Holiday. I mean, here's Drew Holiday. Some people are dumping 4 digits for 20 bucks. I think one of the other ones, like Bogdanovich, he got dumped for like 11 bucks or 10 bucks. I mean, oh geez, look at this. Even like after the pump, almost a day later, someone dumped Drew Holiday for 10 bucks, 4 digit. I mean, I'm trying to help. But anyway, like I said, this was the first pump and correction. But because everyone had a restriction, they were really thick in terms of this graph and the amount of transactions and the variance that it was going off. So it started low at the, let's just say on average the 30s, and then it went up to at most the 60s. CP3 was the most valuable. He got to about 65. And then Drew Holiday corrected at about 45, I'll say 45 at the moment. Interestingly, right now the Cool Cats challenge is priced at $3.89 at the time of recording. The Conley challenge I mentioned in a previous video cost me $300. I remember Cool Cats 3 costed around $500 to $530. A little bit more, a little bit less at certain times, but around about there on average. And interestingly, in this one, the bottlenecks are the common they used to be common, now they're 15K LEs, Dwight Howard and Serge Ibaka's. Because the Cool Cats were minted at 20,000, the 15,000 LEs became the bottleneck. So Dwight is the most expensive moment at 62 and Serge Ibaka at 52. You look at the percentage increase though over the last 7 days, which is practically the last 2 days, 400, 300% increase, because all of a sudden these moments were relevant to a challenge. Will these moments, the Cool Cats moments that is, dump after the challenge? Yes. Do I think they're going to dump as much as the last ones? I can't see them dumping as much as the last ones. I keep saying I've got a PJ Washington from Cool Cats 2 or 1, I can't remember now. He's sitting at like $43, and some of these Cool Cats now are priced under that, which kind of baffles me a little bit because PJ Washington isn't an active challenge. But I think maybe the fact that there's a master challenge at the end of this, which isn't announced, and there's a little bit more on that later in terms of the time frame that we're getting. But maybe because that's just around the corner, these moments are sort of already there and valued at that. But I do expect him to come down a certain percentage after the challenge because quite frankly, they always do. So, do I think the challenge is worth it, and how much do I think Russell Westbrook will go for? I tried to think about this in a logical way. I thought that the Mike Conley challenge and the Cool Cats 3 Jokic challenge were the closest things that I could compare to judge on what Russell Westbrook will be valued at when he's achieved and hits the marketplace. So when the challenge finished for Mike Conley, I mean, here's the spike again. He had a huge starting price. He went all the way up to the 240s and then he corrected to 150. Right now, he's around, I think he's 110 now, actually. Mike Conley, seeing stars. Okay, so I had to spend $300 to get a now $110 valued Mike Conley moment. But that $300 in the Conley challenge dumped all the way down to like $30. So that was a bit ridiculous. I already mentioned the Cool Cats 4 challenge. The moments won't dump that much. I can't see that happening. Jokic. His moments did dump by at least half as soon as the challenge finished. And you can see that even by when Jokic, when Jokic came out, he had a nice spike at 222, very similar to Conley, corrected at around about 190, and he stayed there for a really long time. He had a bit of a dip and a bump, but he stayed there. Even now, he's at around 190. So you got Conley at 110, Jokic at 190. Jokic is minted at around about 6,500, as was Conley. Currently, there are 2,374 people that have finished the Cool Cats 4 challenge, and there's good 5-6 days left. So I expect him at least to get another 6,000 to 7,000 mint count, Russell Westbrook, that is. So I imagine he would dictate a price somewhere in there because Jokic is an MVP candidate, Russell Westbrook is not, and Mike Conley is somewhere below that, I would imagine. So Westbrook, I think, will come in the middle here, and he'll have a nice little spike above 200 and come back to 150 if history is anything to go on. Maybe don't quote me in 7 days' time. Top shot takes don't always age well, but logically speaking, this is what I think might happen. So lots of news came out in office hours today and a lot about pack drops. So I want to condense that for you and get straight into that. So pack drops. We will keep eligibility requirements for future pack drops. No information if similar to previous ones or not. So they're saying they don't know if it's going to stay the same, like the 15 moments, the 2 rares, the different ways you could get into a pack drop, but they're definitely going to have eligibility requirements. So they've been listening a lot, and I think they were very satisfied with the way it went. They managed to get 80,000 collectors in, and a lot of people said it was too easy. I think they were pretty happy with satisfying 80,000 collectors on the platform. But like I said, they expect some changes or tweaks to what that eligibility looks like. Another holo icon drop. Wow, coming during Series 2, which was mentioned later to be likely between the NBA season. So in the off seasons, we'll switch from Season 2 to Season 3. So another Series 2 holo drop coming. Now, that doesn't mean sell all your LeBron Jameses and save up. Remember, you only had 3% chance of getting in that holo icon drop if you were one of those 80,000 people. So that doesn't mean sell all your gear now. Possibly a legendary rookie drop and potential playoff legendary drop. Depends on both. So we did specify, don't expect to see 3 more legendary drops in Season 2. There'll be another holo drop, definitely. There's a 50-50 that 2 will happen, whether that's rookies or whatever else, and a 25% chance that 3 more will happen this season. So that doesn't mean dump all your LeBron James 3-pointers like last time. Last time people were jumping their valuable moments like the LBJ 3-pointer, and then you could see that as soon as people didn't get their holo pack, they were buying them back again. And surely that was happening at a loss as well. Snapshots were seen as a success. So far, no plans to stop them. They actually did double snapshot to make sure that people were eligible from Sunday night were still eligible from Monday night, because they made the announcement. So they did a snapshot, they made the announcement, and then there was an 800 user difference between people that were still eligible on Monday, but both were, so if you were eligible on either one of those snapshots, you were eligible for the pack drop. Because if you were eligible on Sunday but you sold a bunch of moments, they didn't want people to miss out for that reason. So that's a good idea that they do 2 snapshots, whatever the criteria is. So that was seen as a success. With baller status coming back, that can potentially be used for for an eligibility. A collector status or collector score style approach is possible. And Jacob sounded like he was pretty big on this, because if you earn a certain status and baller status, you complete challenges and get all those points. Those points can't be taken off you, but you can sell your moments. So the eligibility requirements, they were based around what moments you had. And I've mentioned in the past that what defines a collector better than someone who actually holds and collects moments, because a lot of people don't bother with the challenges, and the way they are right now, it's understandable. A collector score sounds like it's something that would be live, and we would all know where we stand whenever a pack drop actually happens and if we're eligible for it, which sounds good. It makes a lot of sense. So hopefully that happens in future. It's still early doors and they don't really know how they will look yet. But anyway, Jacob feels at least one rare drop per month, maybe two, and legendaries every month or every other month. So they spoke about, they were asked about the continuity of pack drops, and they again specified that they wanted to get to a Monday, Thursday regular pack drop, and growth just stunted that. And then we were asked if there was going to be a pattern on how often we would get rare and legendaries. And this was the answer, which was really interesting because, I mean, the rare drops, people love a lot of those moments. Like the All-Star moments, a lot of them are still holding quite well. A lot of them aren't, but some of them are still holding quite well. So one rare drop a month, maybe two, and a legendary drop at least every other month. So that gives us a lot to chew on as time goes on. And I'm very big that collectors should be really positioning themselves for the playoffs, because if you're talking about collecting the best moments in NBA history, they're mostly, a lot of them are from the playoffs. I mean, that's where all the historical contextual stuff happens, in the playoffs, the conference finals, the finals. So I think if you're wanting to collect historical context, you've got to position your adaptability to be able to be in a position come playoff time to get involved in these pack drops. So think about the rares worth $230. Try and have that in your dapper. And if you can afford it, the legendaries at $9.99. Packs are always worth it, even at $9.99. But don't just burn credit cards. Again, like, you know, let's be sensible about it as well. There's a budget for each pack, and that's the idea. Challenges and sets. A Series 1 moment could end up in future challenges, and I think they will. They've mentioned this a few times, and I think they want to keep old moments relevant. I think they're seeing too much dump after challenges. They mentioned seeing stars again, being involved in something in the future as possible, without saying definitively that's what's going to happen. It's been hinted more than once, which usually means, you know. Even a Series 3 challenge in the future could be made up of Series 1 moments. Interesting. Should see a challenge coming out sometime this month for another Cool Cats moment made up of non-Cool Cats moment. Okay, so this is interesting as well. So another Cool Cats moment as reward for a challenge made up or earned by common moments. That was interesting to hear, and it'd be also interesting to see what that looks like. Obviously, they've done something a little bit different with Cool Cats 4, with Dwight Howard and Serge Ibaka being involved, the 15K LEs. So they're obviously mixing it up, trying to find what works, and probably just keeping us on our toes as well, because there was a few theories and they were all wrong in the end. A Master Challenge aimed to be out in April or May. So I think he wanted to say April when I was listening to him, but I think to safeguard himself, he said May. In typical Top Shot fashion, things can get delayed. So the Master Challenge, that looks like it's around the corner. Obviously, we've got the Westbrook Challenge that we've mentioned now, and then the Master Challenge you'd think would be shortly thereafter, and maybe this other Cool Cats common moment one somewhere in between or something like that. Well, if it's Cool Cats, you'd think it's got to be before the Master Challenge, but they might want to get people involved, just like the Conley Challenge. So yeah, you'd think there would be, now I'm truly speculating, but you think it would be Westbrook finishes, common Cool Cats, and then Master Challenge perhaps. But that's completely speculative, reading between the lines of what happened here today. Possible MVP set will come out. So last year they had a Giannis MVP set. I think all the Top Shot stuff I've heard talk about it, really, really love it. Didn't seem to be gracefully accepted as much by the Top Shot community, but they seem to be pretty high on it. The other option is badges. A lot of people are talking about badges. So possible MVP set, and it's also possible that these moments that the MVP has just gets badges of some kind. No confirmation either way, and they didn't want to speculate any further, so it looks like they'll do something for the MVP, but we just don't know what yet. Okay, marketplace. Gifting whitelist is being looked at, but basically athletes and VIPs for now. I've sort of hinted that I'd like to gift on this channel, but I am a bit scared of being blacklisted. So it'd be nice to have a whitelisting avenue that we could, do that as content creators. Transaction failed issues are being looked at, and it's due to the bot detection false flagging accounts, often due to multiple people going for the same moment. The team are aware of this, they're doing things about it, and and the randomized serial numbers. Have you noticed when you click on select and buy, it's not like in order anymore, it's sort of randomized? That's made to stunt two people buying the same moment at any given time. I don't think that's working personally. I think it's more annoying, and I think it's also encouraging us to download Chrome extensions to sort those serial numbers so we can see what we're looking at better as well. So I'm not sure that's really working. They did sort of go into specifics about how long it takes to get in from Top Shot, from the moment being on flow for Top Shot to then get it to Dapper and Dapper to Top Shot. And there was, seconds involved there, and that is part of the issue. It's much harder to fix than it sounds. They realize this is frustrating for collectors, and that the slight delay in finding the serial number helps you prevent everyone going for the same moment. Yeah, again, I don't think that's happening. They realize the cooldown triggering when transactions fail issues are very frustrating and are actively working on it. They are confident they can come up with a fix soon. In the meantime, if you have a 60-minute cooldown from a failed transaction, wait 10 minutes and refresh. Yeah, I think we all saw this. Some people had theories about if you click the red dot or your account, or you go here and there, or go to keep collecting after the fail, it'll reset. Maybe it did. I did notice that definitely after 10 minutes, you were back if you failed to get that buy. But even that 10 minutes was quite frustrating during Cool Cats when they were so cheap, and you were like, some people were really doing the challenge and getting these things cheap, but they were getting failed transactions for, I got one for no reason, seemingly, it felt like. So it is frustrating. So it'd be nice to see a fix there. The marketplace reopening is using a gradual approach, but different approaches are being looked at. So when the pack drop happened, the marketplace was gradually reopened randomly to users over 60 minutes. That was hugely frustrating for some people because they were trying to get involved in the marketplace and the challenge, or even the flip, and by moments when they couldn't do anything, they were just sitting there watching other people have fun until Top Shot let them in. I thought this was a bandwidth thing, but there was a good theory behind it, in that if you could only buy one moment every 60 minutes, and it was a 60-minute gradual reopening. So the thought is that no person could buy 2 moments before any one person had the chance to buy 1 moment, which was kind of, I hadn't thought of it that way until they actually explained it. So everyone got the chance to buy 1 moment before someone could have the chance to buy 2. Obviously, failed transactions might come into that as well, but that was the theory behind the the gradual reopening of the marketplace. On to moments. The CC moments due to be retired will happen, and by the time you're watching this, it would have already happened. The list of players that have been retired because they have moved teams are Terrence Davis, Evan Fournier, Aaron Gordon, George Hill, PJ Tucker, DeLon Wright, Gary Harris, JaVale McGee, and Victor Oladipo, both of Victor Oladipo's. Only moments committed to burning are the Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals from last year that didn't sell. That's it. Players that are certified bowlers but are not on the picks page for the Showcase Challenge are fine to use and will be included in the contest. They will be added properly. It's just, I think they just haven't gotten to it yet. Miscellaneous stuff. They do want a Showcase leaderboard, and hopefully that will come at some point. Okay, cool. Marketing is still not coming out right now, but is closer than ever before. I think they said 6 months, 1 month ago, but I think they're more worried about keeping the lights on and the user experience for us right now, rather than what it's going to look like with 1 million more users. So I think they were more worried about keeping the lights on and keeping things functional right now. They do want to see bidding as a feature added. I think that was mentioned last time. It'd be really good to see that, because again, if someone lists something at an exorbitant price and people start bidding here, we start seeing market value based on those bids. So that would be interesting to see come in as well, and vice versa. People don't know, if people get like a number one something or other and they don't know what to list it at, they can accept bids and then consider them accordingly. I think that would alleviate a lot of pressure for people who get in the number ones or the jersey numbers. Canadian and UK bank withdrawals still on track for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Okay. Still around 6 months to come out of beta, but that's a guess and that can change. Fair enough. Usman announced he's stepping down as community manager. He will still be around and active in the community, purely a personal choice of his, and the door is open for him to come back in future. It's pretty obvious that there are some idiots in the world who have dished out a fair amount of abuse to Top Shot, and if you're the community manager, I imagine you've copped a fair bit of that as well. I completely understand this. I sympathize, and the amount of kind words that Usman had in the Discord and on this office hours was, I mean, he had a huge amount of people with positive comments about Usman. Could you imagine managing a community this large, let alone when it gets to 10x or 100x what it is right now? It'd be very difficult, and I often find the Top Shot Discord just hugely cluttered with comments. You can't follow the conversation. There's so much going on. So I commend the job that he's done. I wish him all the best in the future, and I completely understand that there might have been some negativity that has gotten to him, and I mean, I would find it very stressful, I think, to manage that Discord. So yeah, that's all the best to him in the future, but lots of exciting stuff for us to come. Looks like we're getting a ton of packs. So let me know what you think is going to happen. Do you think we're going to get rookie packs? Do you think the next legendary is going to be, do you think we're going to get finals legendary packs? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this content and the summary, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.